Okay, well, hi everyone. Thank you very much for watching or listening around the world. Liam Hartley back with you today, episode 453 of the Simply Inspired Presenting Champions podcast. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Pester superstar, Jay Pester or John Hartley Jr., depending. This man, obviously, very talented boxer, very well known training with Dylan White, also a multi-talented, creative individual and somebody who has turned his life around from negative to positive. And today, even though we will be talking about the boxing side of it, guys, we're going to be sharing a very important message for the youth of today and tomorrow about getting your life moving in a positive direction and achieving your dreams. So everybody stay tuned and also please subscribe to the channel as well. And Champ, thank you for coming on the show, man. It's awesome to have you here. Appreciate you making time for it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, no worries at all. I mean, I want to ask you something because obviously now you're having a lot of success, obviously as a fighter, training with Dillian, with all the different things you do. But as you well know, your life was very different not so long ago. But
hmm
now and you've been living the right way for a good few years, how does it feel being at the level you're at now with everything you come from before, if that makes sense? It's got to be a good feeling to be a free man and to be enjoying the fruits of your
Uh,
work, right?
that's a beautiful thing, one of the greatest things, is freedom and health as well, man. And looking after yourself. With something I'm grateful for the level that we've accomplished. I know it's been hard on myself. And sometimes when I pass by see old people, old friends, or and they remind me of certain things I've gone through, certain things I've overcome. And I'm forever grateful, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just a beautiful feeling, like you driving and let me say, like you seeing police, and you're not even feeling nervous now. You know what I mean? Like I can pull up somewhere where the police are there. You know, it's so much that is different compared to those days, and I'm just loving the what's next, man. I'm just loving the progress. I'm loving each day and then each time, and I'm trying to, especially this year, be a lot of grateful for precise moment instead of wishing and hoping for where I should be.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, what a way to kick things off. And like I say, this is something I really love about you is not only a success as a fighter, but the message that you carry. Now, a lot of people are going to know the story about this, yeah. But anyone who's hearing it for the first time, maybe there's one or two of those. Walk us through your life back in the day because I read an article somewhere in one of the papers. I can't remember which paper it was, but you were describing, when you were growing up from the outside perspective people would call
Mm.
this, gang violence and that type of thing. But from your like inside perspective, it was different. And I thought that was a very good description. So I'd just like to go back to those days. I'm not dwelling on anything negative here, by the way, champ.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
no problem.
just doing this to get the message out there. So yeah, what was so how you were living and what it was like day to day back then, please.
Because you thought it was just normal. You coming out and you um once when you come out once, you're more of like I say, it's a battle with each other, and everyone's ready to cuss each other. Everyone's ready to you know belittle someone, and it's everyone's gonna target the person they can kind of disrespect and get away with. You know what I mean? So it's like you've got to be on edge. You've got to be on that. Put yourself in that respectful way that you don't have it. You know what I mean? That's the most respected person that does the least for the least disrespect who will do the most, go to the extreme. So, and I was never that extreme person as well, but that was what I was being around. Everything was, pushed into contents of us having to always, I grew up just fighting, having to always fight, having to fight one another, or elders, make a circle and you got to start fighting, or elders rush you. So, I didn't grow up on much love as well. That's love. Love wasn't. I thought love was just representing representing your circle, your clique, your as you say, your gang. You know, and then between that in that outer gang, you've got your smaller bits. smaller gangs, smaller circles, smaller brotherhoods that are trying to be close to each other, and then you've got your little individual things that are happening through there. It was normal to just one day, you and your friend are having an argument, and then yo, problem it's promoted as you are having a fight. Boom, have a fist fight, and then you friends the next few days. So every day, uh, every day was a battle. Every day depends as parts of the time, but if I put it in whole, every day you got a rival gang that is gonna come down, and you've got either defend, or you be they'll catch you off guard, and you got to kind of run to safety, or it's gonna be a day where you go to the rival gang, catch them off guard, and by through that time as well. At the same time, you've got your little diffusion and disputes that's
Mhm.
happening in your little in your little gangs itself. That is that you're meant to be a whole gang, but you got your little disputes inside as well. So it was non-stop. When I look a bit now, it was just non-stop, and some of it's a lot of mental trauma, to grow up and you're with you're battling a rival gang. That kind of kept togetherness because there's a everyone on the same plate, and then when it gets to a point where you guys you're beefing, and or you've got um troubles amongst each other, which could lead to people dying. It's traumatic in your mind to have to be going through all that.
Yeah. Can I ask you something else about that I don't feel that people get into enough with you? I mean, obviously, in the years that have passed, dealing with some of that mental trauma, like in your own mind and in your own heart and soul and everything like that, and kind of letting some of it go as much as possible. What are some of the steps you've kind of taken within yourself, if it's not too personal, to deal with it? Because there's a lot of people out there who are dealing with surviving these kind of things.
Mm,
I don't feel they get the help they should. I mean, everyone focuses on it like when they're
yeah.
in the moment, you know what I'm saying? But like afterwards, what are some of the things you've done to kind of heal yourself a little bit, aside from the boxing, obviously, but maybe a
Or,
couple of other things as well?
that's a very good question. Trying to heal from it, because I think when I started being around other people, and then I'm around, just like we from the lightest disrespect we go to the extreme, and
Mm.
when you come from that thingy, you're in a different world, and people might see something that where you're from or where you grew up, like where I was, it was deemed disrespectful, and you would want to react to that, and and you realize, okay, these people ain't brought up where I was brought up, so it's a bit normal for them, and you have to kind of digest that into your head, and just see it, and sometimes analyzing how other, because remember me growing up, I thought that's just normal, people get chased by 50 to 30 people down the street, like it was just normal. So when you start coming up and coming around and seeing that there's actually life. There's an opening to life. People come from different wardens of life. When I stopped being around that mindset of that growth, and it's trouble because some people want to experience that. Like I've met around some people, some boxers. I'll never say where it's like they've come up a good upbringing, but they sometimes want to portray that kind of dark side gangster kind of background. And it's like us that really come from that way, we're trying to get away from that. We don't ever want to really see it again.
Yeah,
We love this new life. It's something new. We're not watching our shoulder. You know what I mean? We're not turning around. We're not circling the car, the block twice before we park out. You know, people we can bring strangers, or not strangers, or colleagues or whatever, to your home if you wanted to, and that's something you do when you're on the streets. You never let people where you know where you're staying, because you don't know that person that you are once friends with could just be an enemy the next day.
yeah.
Mm.
Man, it's crazy. I mean, the looking over your shoulder thing, yeah, I mean, that always stands out to me. But also, now when you look at London now and the way it is, and you look at, the different estates and all the rest of it, is it like the same, would you say, as it was then? Has it gotten worse? Has it gotten better? Like, what would you say about the levels of where it's at today? Because obviously, you see people getting killed, like, every week, and it is terrible. The families, I saw one the other day, 15-year-old boy, and don't get me wrong, like I'm from Wales, and we have some problems there with drugs and stuff, but it's not the same with the knives and all of this. So it's like, what do you make of how it's changed for better or worse, basically?
Uh, as it gone, ideally it's starting to get worse because of social media is taking over. People are publicizing what they're doing. People can look up things. People can just search for weapons. You know what I mean? It's like um, gangs are getting to more smaller groups, uh, and it's very hard. And it's because the only way they're gonna learn is when they go inside
Yeah,
and they're stuck there. That's the only majority of them learns. One or two are lucky to kind of learn, but it's very hard if you go in and come out and you're glorified for it. So
yeah,
yeah, it's quite hard, but it's the instant gratification what you get for it. Maybe the quick money, the quick women. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone loves someone that's got money with them. Why do they want to be patient? You know?
yeah. That's the big one. You gotta teach them to think a few steps ahead, and where it's all going to end up. And what about you? I mean, back then, before you went inside, were you kind of aware that that was coming, or was it kind of like a surprise when it hit you and you kind of landed in there the first time, if you get what I mean?
Yeah, the first time, yeah, it was like you saw, my mind says like, shit, I'm gonna make a millionaire. I'm gonna be a millionaire of drugs. That's how it was, man. Like, money, when you've got money coming in, you don't realize how much that in and out's coming. That money just come, you're just making it. You can blow a few hundreds and feel no way, thousands, because shit, I'm gonna make it back. I just need to just put some hard work and make that shit back.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was it. Yeah, it did come to a surprise. Didn't think it would have happened. I was thinking, you hear you hear other people, but you just think, yeah, that's more space for me.
right, I get you. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. Okay, so you were inside what, three times? For how long? All in all, if you add up the time altogether.
Oh, see about 10, about 10. Yeah, about. No, we serve half, so I'll say like um, I got sentenced to 3 years, then I got 6 months, then I got like a seven. So we serve always serve about half of that.
Yeah,
Six, yeah, yes, one I was on remand, so I didn't get sentenced, and the other two sentences were three, and so just yeah, about 5.5 years of prison time served.
yeah, man. I mean, listen, like I said before, respect for coming to it and respect for passing the message on, because the thing is, it takes a lot of courage to speak about this. I know people are always asking me about it all the time anyway, but which leads me to obviously an important point is obviously for the youngsters out there today who are in that life. I mean, what would you say to them, whether they're in already quite deep, or whether they're kind of just getting in, or they're kind of tempted, or whatever point of view they're at? What would you say to some of those people, because they need to hear something?
People that want to get into it, there's nothing in it, man. Don't stay, stay in school and work and get your career going because this does not last forever. It's just on a I can say it's on a time limit. It looks good for now. You know what I mean? While you're not paying rent at home, while you got no children, build your life together. Be the person. Because what happens now, the people that are going in and out of prison and starting again, the people that were stayed good in school and all that, they're up there. They got their houses, they got their jobs. Could be there. And the people that are in it, which is very hard to come out, you know what I mean? I'll say, make your way out. Put yourself around different people. Start getting a job so you can make the transition and work. But there's nothing you can do with that money anyway. What can you really, really, really do? I know
Yeah,
it looks good, but when I mean good, like buying your house and getting yourself into certain positions, having the police off your back, for that, and anyone else that is really stuck in there, and it's very hard because the peer pressure of you don't leave your friend there, then it's not your friend. Because if someone wants the best for you, if the best for you is for you, and it doesn't, and why am I gonna be upset? If I got love for you, you want to go, go do what's good for you. So yeah, I would say guys are in it. Um, just change your environment. You can't change your mindset and then be around the same environment. It will never work. If I did that, I'll be back smoking weed easily.
yeah,
The temptation was there, the weed smoke was there, so just change your environment, change the circle you're around, change the people you call, people you talk to, the people you hang out with, the people you go and check, and the people you eat with. Everything will be, different. So that's the main thing I would say is just changing your environment.
absolutely. Yeah, changing who you spend time with as well is a massive, massive part of it. Also, when you are inside, and by the way, we will come to the boxing in a minute, but I just want to talk about this. What I mean, for somebody who's never been in there, I think the only other thing we can do to kind of hit that home for people and really get it through is, what it's actually like on the inside, because it's different than, what you see on TV and all that type of stuff. So if you had to describe an average day in there, um, I'd like to talk about that a little bit, and then I'm gonna move into a couple of the boxing topics and some other stuff. But yeah, I mean, an average day inside, how does it go depending on the?
It's dull, it's dark, and it's depressing. You know what I mean? You wake up, boom, you wake up in the morning, you go on the exercise yard, walk around for maybe, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour, and then you come back to your cell. If you got a job, you go to your job. If you got maybe a visit, if you got education, you go there and that's from like 9:15 till about 11:30. Come back for lunch, bang up, wake up at 2 o'clock. Or they open your doors. If you ain't got nothing, you got to stay in your cell. If you got a job, you go out and you work. I don't know if you work in a gym, cleaner, kitchen, education. You go out there and you come. Then it's done for 2 hours. You come back into your cell about 4:30. They open your cell at 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
They serve you food, and then they bang you up within the hour. But sometimes there's lockdown and it changes your whole regime, so you could be used to that. And something's happened, or there's been a fight, or there's something changes in you're on lockdown, so you're just in, and you're just you just got your thoughts in a one box room. You're sharing with someone else, someone you're both shitting in the cell, you're both fighting in the cell.
mm,
Um, yeah, so it's not a place you want to be. People are talking down to you. People of similar age or you're just above you are talking to you. They're in control. You're just a number. You're just a surname.
yeah. Man, I mean, that shows people like, yeah, where it ends up versus where they think it's going to end up. And then talking about the positive side of it, though, obviously you decided to make a change, and you decided that, you wanted something better for your life, and you didn't want to like keep going down that road. And like you said earlier, quitting the weed and changing your habits and changing who you hung out with and all of that stuff. I mean, it's not an overnight thing. Obviously, it takes time, but where was the initial, like, where that fire was kind of lit inside you, saying, "Look, I don't want this life anymore. I want to go in a different direction." If you get what I mean, like the seed of that ambition to be something more. Where did that kind of start for you and start moving in a positive direction?
Negative comments, family members, old family members. in-laws. You
Okay.
know, when I was saying, yo, he just goes to prison, he goes there, he's just this, and I was so determined to just prove them right, prove myself right and prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Um, that was my drive, and that's kind of been the drive that's pushed me through negative comments, hard times, breakups, uh, uh, friends turning their backs on you, those no negative times. If not, I just can just, be a bum, go back. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna keep proving God right in my life. And that's it.
Yeah. I love it, man. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to break the cycle like that and to break like everything you used to and everything you know. I mean, if you don't mind me saying, obviously it takes a lot of courage to get in the ring and all that stuff, but to change your whole life around to like a totally different life is a massive, brave thing. And I mean, that's not even a question. I just wanted to say that to you. Um, but yeah, okay. So then, in terms of coming out and in terms of getting started with the boxing and all this stuff, I mean, I've seen that you've spoken on the fact that it kind of took people a little while to get, to think like, look, is he being real with this, or he's just going to go back and he's just going to do the same thing? And it took people
Uh,
a while to believe you, if you get what I mean.
uh,
Can you share with us a little bit about that process and what it was like, and like how long it took for people to start buying into like, okay, you know what, he's for real, he's really doing this type of thing, if you get what I mean, and how long that took.
okay, I'm never not gonna know people's thoughts because I started having a thing of people's opinions is none of my business.
Yeah.
When you start having that mindset and tunnel vision, you know what I mean? But I think maybe when I had my first professional fight, and they thought, this is, he's really doing things. They seeing me just around, you know, people known, like just like Dylan and other known boxers that I've started being around, other known celebrities that I've been around as well, and it started associating my name, with those people. So it got to a point where it was shocking for me when people, when someone would just say, "Oh, you're so and so. Is it? Oh, can I get a picture?" And I'm like, "Wow." That's when I think for me it was like, "Oh shit." I think that's when that's the shotness hit me when it was
Okay.
like, oh, because I'm like, bro, like I'm just me. I'm just working every hard every day, and it was just like um having someone say, "Wow, oh my God, yo, John, like, damn, can I get a picture, please?" I was like, "Huh?" So for me, from there, I know that weren't your questions, 'cause I can't judge when they said, but for me, it was at that moment.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I totally get, when the hard work started paying off. But obviously, not only had you come out of prison and you had all this stuff going on and all these people, but you also had to bounce back from adversity quite early on as well, because you had to draw in your second fight, then a few
Yeah.
fights. I think the eighth or ninth, you had
Mm.
the loss there. Obviously you had some good wins along the way as well, but it wasn't an easy road to where you're at now. So how did you keep the belief that, or actually put it another way, not only keep the belief, but how did you resist the temptation? Because maybe there was moments there where you thought, you know what, this is tough. Is this going anywhere? Maybe I should go back to the streets. Did that ever cross your mind at any point, or did you just
Of
100%?
course.
Yeah,
Yes, many times it crossed my mind. Many times it's not easy. Many times I'm like, shit. Look how these people are talking to me. Look how these people are not respecting me. Look how this, like I'm from a respected place, so I'm doing things where I can earn my own money. You know,
yeah,
shit. I gotta try and sell tickets. I gotta force this thing. You know what I mean? I was thinking, shit, I could do this to get this money for the opponents, and but everything was making you learn. I started learning about, how to manage myself right, how to just not just jump in and just be more calculated in what I'm doing in steps, and that's the steps I'm taking, this year. I've got a great team and just the calculations, but everything was definitely just learning. And what am I gonna? I can't go back to people that I've said, no, he's going to go this, and I'm proving them right. No, 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 no. I just had that thing. I am never giving up.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that is something. Hold on, you froze there a second. Oh, you're back now. Yeah, you're back now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that is something, yeah, that I love. I mean, about you, the only way out is through in your life. I mean, that's been the way in your life. But, and obviously with the boxing, with the fights you've had and everything so far, what are your proudest moments? I mean, I would love to talk about every fight, but I thought, you know what, we're not going to have time for that. So the best way to kind of condense it down, talk about your favorites and the ones that you've achieved. We will talk about the future as well, but just looking back, which ones are your proudest moments as a fighter,
Uh, my proudest moments, man. Uh,
or your favorite moments? The most special memories for you, anyway. Because they're not always the ones that people think. When I ask this question, I mean, you're getting like the mainstream exposure, and you're doing some amazing things, and you're
yeah, and
fighting.
I think it was the mainstream. It was just getting on the Sky Sports. I think was on the Matchroom card,
Yeah,
and that was something like, damn, I'm here. That was it. I think especially when I fought Jack Cullen, and I think it was just the fact of just that the short notice, and I was just flipping just up for it. I feel like I began a new wave because I don't know, not many were taking short notice fights as
yeah,
well, but it was a tough thing. It was just everything. It was just I wanted it so badly. There was every reason to pull out. Every reason, man. The weight wasn't coming off. Like I've started it at a certain weight. It was 86 or something because I was sparring uh, a light heavyweight person. We was in Loughborough and he had no sparring partner. So Tip said, "Oh, can you put on some weight? Just hold it for." I was like, "Yeah, eat for." I was like, "Yeah." Then that call came, and I wasn't saying no. Like I'm trying to get on this, and yeah, it was just something else.
wow, that's
You know,
awesome. I mean,
just
from prison to Sky Sports, I mean, in itself, that shows the power of your journey and what you've achieved as well. And
exactly.
I think it's just, and what an example as well. I mean, when you're doing that, do you feel? I know this is going to kind of be a bit obvious in a way, but I'd like to get your thoughts on like the way you feel you're impacting the youth and showing them a positive example of what you can achieve in life. What kind of impact do you feel you're having on all the youngsters out there, or people who've been in prison, or anybody who wants to change their life through your achieving, if you get what I mean? And then
I can only hope and still continue, man. Like I'm hoping it's getting income. I'm hoping people are believing, but at the same time, I'm just doing what I can do. My tunnel vision
yeah,
is just so bright, so big, so focused, and I've been like that for the last few years. It'll be 2000 shit, September will be 10 years I've been out, and
yeah,
for me, that's just a beautiful accomplishment in itself. So I should be dropping normally should be I'm dropping a book in September, and I said it when I was in prison. I always said that I'm gonna drop this book, stuff that I was writing down. So September on the anniversary, I'm out. I'll be dropping a book.
wow, that's awesome, man. And it's like the story of your whole life from then up until now.
Uh, it's a bit of it. It's a bit, called 360, and we're trying to uh kind of just inspire people how to turn, just like we are talking about.
Yeah,
That'll probably be in another book where it's going into more depth, more or less. We're just giving the bits of because my story is a real long film, so it's just like it's just how we turned it around.
yeah. And that's the other thing. I mean, like when it comes to like making a movie out of your life and all of this type of stuff, they should do that as well. Who would play you? Who would you want to?
Yeah. I'm trying to get Denzel, man. Denzel, come and play me, man. That'll be good, man.
Yeah, that would be wicked. Yeah, fair play, fair play.
Mm.
I mean, he probably would be interested. I mean, in helping because he does those kind of films with the cause, But yeah, man, it'd be wicked if they made a movie about you. I mean, that would be, but and the book as well. And you do a bit with music as well, don't you? You do a bit like on the creative side, or I've seen something.
Yeah. Obviously at the moment I kind of slowed it a bit down. You know, what I mean, a lot of boxing fans were creating for asking me, and I've just said, for now I haven't really been in the studio up and down. But maybe, yeah, I said I will think about it if an opportunity comes up, then I won't say no. But till now, I'm good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But it's good, I mean, different creativity, different means of doing great things is very cool. Also, I mean, when it comes to the future of the boxing as well, we were looking back a little bit there, but where do you want to go? Because I mean, you've already had some great fights and achieved some great things. Obviously, working with Dillian as well. I mean, you seem to have a lot left in the tank, even though I think what are you now, like 40 or something? I mean,
Yeah,
still
yeah.
got the ambition. So where do you want to go in like the next steps of your career going forward?
Uh, my next steps is to obviously bring in youth and take some of the stuff. I go to Africa a lot. You can see on my Instagram, I'm always back home. So it's mainly to open the doors. I've always wanted to use my life to create more life.
Yeah,
So that's more or less my next steps, really. Just um, you know, yeah, just opening the door for that back home, and that's exactly what I'm about to do.
I love it, man. I love it. I mean, yeah, like I say, that's why I wanted to get the message out there a little bit today. Just so I don't forget to mention it as well. I mean, most people will know the story, but in terms of Dillian and the way that he helped your career and you guys became friends and you were sparring together and all that sort of stuff, is there anything that you can share about like your relationship working with him and how he's helped you and kind of contributed to your career and your life
Yeah,
and that type
that's
of.
my oh shit, I might be going through bad reception. But yeah, that's my guy, man. That's my bro, man. I think video time a couple of days ago. That's always gonna be my guy, when he's fighting something, I'll pull up. So our relationship's deeper than just boxing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's not just like, yeah, I mean, some people boxing takes you so much over, you forget Reyes. But at the same time, he's come through struggle, he's come through adversity, so that's where we clicked and related. And it's nothing but love, brotherly love always. You might catch us bantering, we always cuss each other and get in each other's nerves. He might shout at me, I shout at him. Do you know what I mean? It's not always just fun and banter. Sometimes he pisses me off, I piss him off. But at the end of the day, it's all love. That's what family will always do. So that's like a family member to me.
yeah. I love it, man. I mean, I wanted to give him a mention. Got all the respect in the world for that guy. You mentioned about family there. One other thing I want to just touch on here, as long as it's not too personal, if you don't mind me mentioning this. But I don't know, like, do you have kids yourself? Do you have?
Yeah, yeah. I got one kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's 14. She's only
Okay.
10. Yeah.
And how do you feel about your example to her then? Because I mean, what I'm getting at with this is you've kind of broken. You know how people talk about like generational trauma and that kind of thing, where like it's in the cycle where it passes on from like your mum, your dad to you, and like your kids and stuff. But then in the same way, you've kind of broken that because then now because you're living so differently, you're passing on something positive, like to your daughter as well. I mean, how do you feel about like the impact on her and how she looks up to you? If you don't mind me asking this one.
Yeah, just not gonna be always easy, but and I always the secrets I didn't get to know until be the best. There's time for laughter, there's time for work. When you're in class, you work. Outside of class, you can laugh or what you're doing, but yo, it's time to work.
Yeah,
everyone's your competition. Get to first place because in life we only care about the first place. And
yeah.
I give it a harsh truth, because I just want it to be the best.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like I was saying, man, I got the respect for that because, breaking the cycle, and you were talking earlier about like the trauma and the mental trauma and everything, and you're kind of breaking that cycle with her. So I mean, I think that's awesome, to be fair. Absolutely. I mean, is there any other things? Obviously, we've talked about the music, the book, the boxing, all of these different things. Are there any other things that you'd like to mention? Like you mentioned about Africa and some of these other things. Are there any other projects you've got going on that we can mention, or have we mentioned them all? Have we touched on all the different things? Because
But
you do
I've,
it.
I've got, yeah, I do. I always do a lot. What else? Well, I graduated from university. What else?
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I graduated. Got my degree. So while I was going through a few things, degree in sports science, strength and conditioning. Um, yeah, I'm just always someone that I keep busy. I want to be my maximum. I want to be able to just be when it's my time to leave Earth. I done everything out of my power to be in a better position.
Yeah.
So
And have the positive impact on so many people as well. Yeah, the African thing. We'll mention that. Mention one or two other things, and then I'll let you go because then we've had a good length to talk. But just with the African work that you do over there and helping people and stuff. To anyone who doesn't know about that, I've seen a few things, but tell us a little bit about the work you do over there as well, because I think that's absolutely amazing, like giving back. In
yeah, giving back. A lot of times I ship some stuff here. It costs me quite a bit to pay for all the shipping and box. Some people, they give me clothes, and I'm trying to give it back. I try to go to private places, my villages. Main thing like boxing equipment. Like we got no real proper boxing gyms out there. So that's something, I want to try and work towards. Donated so much boxing stuff from the New Era gym. So that's even one thing, people got a lot of boxing equipment. Um, and if there is, the funding support shipping it, because that bit's the costly bit. But other than that, I just, I was shipping it back, and yeah, it's you got something that's non-existent. You got boxing that's non-existent, and I'm trying to make it existent. And there's a lot counting on me as well. So I'm doing everything in my power to make it right.
yeah. I love that,
Mm.
man. I love that. And my last thing before you go is because I don't want to let you go so you can get to the gym. But my last thing, I have seen, or I'm just curious about this because what are your thoughts on like the spiritual side of life? I mean, I know this might be a bit
Yeah,
random. You a believer in God or any of that
of
type?
course,
Yeah.
I'm a believer in God. If it weren't for God, I won't be here. God has directed me. God has guided me to the right people. Um, I'm here because of God. I prayed. Um, there's a prayer I prayed when I was in prison, and I always said boxing's gonna open the doors for me.
Mm,
That's what I remember always saying that to people. Yo, boxing's gonna open the doors for me. Boxing's gonna open the doors for me, and that's what it's done. And I'm honestly happy that it's done that. For I always that was one of my prayers always, and to always lead me into people that is gonna show me people that are gonna take me to another level or connect me and meet the right people. So yeah.
I love that, man. I mean, I've seen like on some of your posts and stuff, but I think it's very important in life to accept God into your life. It's changed something that's changed my life as well. So, awesome. And I think the last thing is just for me to say as well to anyone listening to this. A lot of people will already be following you and already be knowing about what you're doing. But if they're not, guys, plug into the journey. Keep an eye on what this man is doing because there's some big things yet to come. You've heard it here today. So
Yeah.
on social media everywhere, and TikTok, Instagram, everything. So man, I just want to thank you for taking the time for this. And like I say, as
No.
fights, and I followed your journey since, like in terms of boxing now, since pretty much the beginning. Not quite the all
Yeah, yeah.
in the beginning,
Yeah,
but
you have. You've always messaged me. You've always messaged me. I give you your dues, man. So, and I mean, man, you know, what I mean, it'll be nice to have you. May have you one day ringside, man. Let me know if you're on the 15th, man. You're about on the 15th of February. We'll see what we'll do. Get you there, man.
yeah, see what we can do, 100%. But I mean, it's one of those things where I just, since the early days, I was trying to remember which fight was first, but I can't remember. Very early on, second, third, something like that. From right early on, I remember hearing the story, and yeah, man. Any ways I can support, I'd be happy to. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.